Welcome to the second in Fuel for Leaders series on leadership identity. This presentation addresses our emotions and attitudes. In our last presentation, we discussed how all leaders are unique. We lead best when we exercise the freedom to be ourselves, to be true to our leadership identity. We each have distinct gifts and talents. Leveraging this combination of strengths enables us to handle the challenging leadership situations we face in our own way. Our leadership manifests in our day-to-day actions and behaviors. As mentioned last time, our responses to events, interactions, or outcomes don't emerge out of nowhere. They are a function of the multiple dimensions of who we are as a leader and an individual. Exploring these layers of our leadership identity is essential to be managing our actions and behaviors best. When considering the influences on our behavior, emotions and attitudes are the first facet of leadership identity to explore. As leaders, we're expected to curb our emotions and check our attitudes at the door to keep them from coloring our responses. Trying to squelch our feelings or ignore our perspectives does not make them go away. Understanding the composition of our emotions and attitudes enables leaders to best assess their impact on our actions and behaviors. Our emotions can be grouped into four spheres: contentment and apprehension, as well as confidence and insecurity. Contentment centers around our sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment, how optimistic, hopeful, or thankful we are. By contrast, apprehension covers our level of anxiety, stress, and worry. Do we feel pressured, uncertain, overwhelmed, or fearful? Confidence speaks to our sense of security, pride, and self-regard. Do we feel respected, appreciated, valued, and worthy? Are we energized, passionate, and engaged? Alternatively, insecurity harbors our doubts. Do we feel undervalued, overlooked, or disrespected? Are we disconnected or feeling alone, discouraged, or disillusioned? To assess where your emotions sit among these spheres, Fuel for Leaders has created a brief self-evaluation. Do you feel optimistic almost all the time or not very often? Do you often feel anxious? Are you feeling respected sometimes, depending on circumstances, or feeling underutilized only rarely, regardless of circumstances? Understanding our emotional makeup helps us anticipate how we may react to certain situations. Rather than being surprised, we can leverage these emotions to enable us to lead our teams most effectively. Our attitudes are part of our individuality. Formed over our lifetime, these perspectives shape how we view elements of our day-to-day. We all have personal viewpoints on human nature, attitudes about others, or a mindset about the future. Our perspective on human nature, for example, can run along a spectrum. We might believe that people are basically selfish and self-serving, or that they are trustworthy and good. When we consider others, we may tend to see the worst in them, or alternatively, we see the best in others. When we consider what the future may bring, we can be a pragmatist or more of an optimistic idealist. Our attitudes can be long-standing, part of our upbringing, or a result of events which shaped our lives. Regardless of the source, they are an integral part of our leadership identity, thus cannot be simply ignored. Emotions and attitudes form the critical first layer of our leadership identity. Taking stock of the multiple dimensions of who we are as a leader enables us to act most confidently when tackling the many leadership challenges we encounter every day. For more information about leadership identity, go to Fuel for Leaders. Thanks for tuning in.